Hello everyone, this is Pedro with CineMilled, sitting here today with a bunch of nuts and bolts. And so for the longest time when I go to a movie set, I have my AC bag, and in my AC bag you will probably find little pill containers full of, different size bolts. That's how I sort of organize them in my AC bag. That kind of works, sometimes not the best because I don't really label them, and you kind of go back and forth. The other thing is, back at home, of course, I have, so many miscellaneous nuts and bolts because, I'm always tinkering. But in general, on a movie set, I don't have to tell you that we're always, bolting accessories, taking accessories off, trying to rig different things, trying to put a light on top of your camera cage, trying to rig the camera to a piece of cheese plate. If you're doing vehicle rigging, I mean, there's so many situations where you kind of need hardware. And so for the longest time, a lot of you guys have contacted us and been like, hey, I lost the screws that you sent in as part of the Steadicam adapter. The screw, I rented out my ring and the screw from the spindle fell off. Can you guys send me a replacement? And so initially, it gets expensive shipping nuts and bolts around the country, around the world. So my first reaction is always to tell you guys, just visit your local hardware store. If you're lucky enough to have a large chain store around you, like a Lowe's or Home Depot, they do have a large selection of hardware. But a lot of times it'll be this sort of black hardware that is a much lower grade and can rust. And so it's not the really nice stuff, which is made out of stainless steel. And so if you're lucky enough to have a really good hardware store close by, they'll have the harder to find nuts and bolt sizes that sometimes places like Lowe's and Home Depot don't have, especially not in stainless. But in any case, I got enough of these requests where I realized, you know what? A lot of people don't want to run around town trying to track down nuts and bolts. And so since I'm always buying them to go on our products, and by this point we have lots of products that use lots of different kind of hardware. And so I figured, it's probably time for me to come up with something that I know that if I had seen when I was ACing a lot, that I probably would have bought. And in fact, now this is something that we put together that is always going to go with me on shoots because you're always needing hardware. And so the first step for me was to find a container, something to hold all this stuff with that I liked, that's practical, that is strong, and then it organizes all the hardware in a way where you can find it quickly without having to sort through a bunch of bag of bolts, right? So what we found is this really nice case. It's double-sided. And that's because we're going to offer the hardware kit in a basic and an advanced package. So in the basic package, you'll see we'll go over all the hardware that comes in the basic package. Of course, it's listed on our website, but that'll completely fill all the little containers on the front side. On the back side will be empty. Now, if you want to order the advanced hardware kit, it will already have everything that comes in the basic, and then the back side will also be filled with all of the advanced hardware. And so the advanced hardware is going to be the hardware that you can't find. You certainly can't find it at Lowe's and Home Depot, and you definitely will even have a hard time finding it, if ever, at a specialized hardware store. That's the stuff that is a lot more specific to the movie industry, like those really thin tripod screws with a shoulder, tripod screws with a fat head, tripod screws with a longer shank with a deeper thread. There's actually quite a bit of variations, and there's specific times where you need one versus the other. And so we are actually going to custom make all of those, and they're going to go in the advanced kit. So if you buy the basic kit, you will be able to also just buy the advanced kit, just the filler, and then you just flip it over and populate the back side of your case. We will also make the case available for purchase separately, And then finally, we're gonna also make available refill kits. So if you already have your own case and you don't want the case that we're including, and you just want to buy the hardware, have the convenience of just buying the hardware from us, we will have these refill kits. So there'll be 4 pieces to a bag in all the different sizes that we have available and that we use on our products, that we have available in the hardware kit, and that we will be making. So you'll be able to buy the hardware by itself. You'll be able to buy the hardware in the basic kit, and you'll also be able to buy just the hardware in the advanced kit. Or you can buy the case pre-filled with everything in it. So for now, we're not going to go into the advanced kit because the advanced kit, we're still working on. We got to make all those screws because they're actually, we can't buy them from a supplier. You can't buy them from a supplier. We actually have to make them. So, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get this out there because I know a lot of you have a need for this, and we'll welcome this being available. But basically, what we did is we actually used our laser etcher to laser etch onto the plastic the size of the screw that is inside of that location. So that makes it so you can just quickly pop the cover open and grab the size that you need without having to like figure out, oh, is this the 1 inch or is this a 3/4? It's all be pre-labeled and pre-sorted for you. So you might be asking yourself, why do I need a hardware kit? And now, so this might be really obvious to some of you, but and not so obvious to others, and that's fine. And so just to give you a few examples, you know, we make lots of different products that can interact and attach to other products. And the way you do that is with, of course, nuts and bolts, namely bolts. So, you know, you might have something like a cheese plate that you want to attach a universal mount to, right? You may have a quick switch that you need to bolt to a cheese plate. You may have our Mitchell threaded collar and castle nut, and you want to attach your Ronin-2 universal mount to it. So the Ronin-2 universal mount actually has a, you know, designed in pocket for the socket head of the bolt to go into. So actually, if you open up the kit here, we have here our 1/4 by 1 inch, and we can actually just drop those in. You see here, there's a pocket for them and the head disappears. This makes it so you can still slide it into the Ronin. And you can take the Mitchell collar and castle nut, and you see there's a threaded set of holes. And therefore, by using these and threading them all the way in, you can bolt the Ronin-2 universal mount to the Mitchell collar and castle nut. So there's lots of reasons why you can use this. You can attach the collar and castle nut to a piece of cheese plate. You know, it's kind of like Legos, except they don't really snap into each other, and the way they attach to each other is using the hardware. So we have our universal cheese plate, and so on a lot of the cheese plate that we have 3 through holes, and we have threaded holes. So in a lot of cases, if you're going to sandwich something in between something, you need the piece in the middle to have a through hole, right? So let's do that. And then it's actually going to thread into the other cheese plate. And so as you can see, as you start to stack things, they get thicker. And this is why you need different sizes of screws, different lengths. So what we're going to find here on our kit is we have lots of different lengths. So the different lengths are so you can go across different thicknesses of material. So let's, you know, it's a great time to, let's go into the different sizes that are included in the basic hardware kit. So as you can see here, we have laser etched all the sizes on the outside. What's listed here is what's inside of this little cubicle right there. And then in this container, we got a little surprise hardware piece that we custom made here at CineMilled. So let's take a closer look. So this is it. Before we start, all these compartments, the little walls come off so that you can organize it any way you want if you have your own kind of hardware, because once again, you can buy the case empty and put your own hardware in it. We're also offering the case empty. So it's configurable, which is really cool. So to start off with, we have an M3 by 5, and this is in millimeters, and then an M3 by 10. So the M3s are, you know, they're hardware that you can find on a lot of Movi Pros, for example, on the dovetail for the rod support, or in different places on the Movi Pro. This this other place here is an M4 by 5, and then an M4 by 10, and then an M4 by 14. So the M4 is a hardware size that you'll find a lot more on the Ronins. So the Ronin one, like the extension arms, the pan arm extension, these all use M4 by 10, M4 by 14. And then we got here a M4 by 25, which can be useful in a lot of situations also. On the Ronin 2 even, like you can use these for the tilt extensions. And then we get into the quarter 20s. So the quarter 20s obviously used a lot on camera cages and stuff like that. So you're going to use these a lot. So we included a good variable of sizes, good variance of sizes. We got a quarter 20 by 1/2 inch, quarter 20 by 3/4, and then a quarter 20 by 1 inch. So this is very useful. Once again, if you have the Mitchell threaded and collar and castle nut, you can use these to attach the Ronin 2 universal mount to it, and all sorts of number of things. The extra length is good because it can reach through something that's thick. Same thing goes for the quarter 20 by 3 inch that we have right here. These we use on our clamp kits for our Pro Ring. We also use them on our Steadicam arm post adapter and on the swivel. So aside from that, it's really nice to have a really long 3/8 quarter 20 screw if you have to sort of go through a lot of material to attach to whatever you need to attach to. And then we get into the 3/8 16 hardware. So we got 3/8 16 by 1/2 inch, 3/8 16 by 3/4, 3/8 16 by 5/8, and 3/8 16 by 1 inch. Now the 3/8 16 by 1 inch, very useful for attaching different kind of universal mounts and different things where you have to go through a cheese plate to get to whatever you're doing, so you need the extra length. I actually use these quite a bit. And then we get to this special little piece of hardware here that we made here at CineMilled. This is a thumb knob that we knurl the edges, that it has a quarter 20 thread on it. And so you can use these, for example, to attach a video transmitter to the side of your camera cage, for example. And this is useful because you can get it on and get it off really quickly using your thumb toolless. So we got a short version, and then we got one with a longer thread. And then it's the same thing right here. We got a 3/8 16 thumb screw, and we got a short shank on there, and then we got a long shank, and then a shorter one. So this is just kind of our basic hardware kit. It's a little bit of everything you might encounter on set hardware-wise. You can always order refill kits if you want more of a specific size. If you lose them, you can order more refill kits. And don't forget, you know, this isn't just in the basic kit. So the backside is empty. So you can put all your own hardware here if you want, and you can move the walls and to fit bigger things in here if you want. Maybe spare parts for your gimbal or something like that. You can put other things in here that you might need, different rigging pieces and stuff like that. So, or you can order an advanced kit and drop it here on the back. It'll be designed so that it fits in all the little quadrants, and the advanced kit's basically going to have some more proprietary, specially designed cinema stuff like tripod screws and whatnot. So more on that later. But that's the basic hardware kit and the carrying case that we have. So that gives you a good overview of all the individual sizes that are part of the basic kit. And of course, they're all listed on our website, and so will the advanced kit as soon as it becomes available. But that's pretty much it. You know, I just want to give you a quick overview. I think it's cool because honestly, if something was sitting on a shelf, ready to be shipped to my house, easily off the internet when I started ACing, I probably would have bought it because honestly, over the years, I've accumulated my box of nuts and bolts, but honestly, it's a lot nicer to just have a really nice, organized, professional way of storing your bolts, something you can label, something you can keep, something you can be at the camera and tell an assistant, go to my cart, there'll be my box of hardware, and give me the 1/4 by 3/4 inch, and he can just look at what's, you know, printed on the outside and get you exactly what you need. And so anyways, I think it's pretty cool. I hope you can appreciate it. Feel free, we have a really cool vehicle rigging and camera car group on Facebook. That's a really good place if you're getting into rigging cameras on cars and that sort of thing. Of course, we got the CineMilled Facebook group. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell and turn on the notifications so you can so you can get notified as soon as we have a new video, which usually means a new product that can hopefully make your shooting days a little bit easier, a little bit smarter, and a little bit better. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next one.